And you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move.
Hey guys, thank you so much for taking the time to click on this video. So this is going to be a raw, unedited video, okay? A raw, unedited video. And I'm gonna try not to get too hyped, too passionate, because a lot of times when I start talking about things that I'm passionate about, my voice started to escalate. I start talking fast, yeah, and all of that good stuff. I'm trying to work on a setup for when I do personal videos like this instead of sitting at the desk, but I'm new to this, but I'm gonna get it together. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about today is finding your voice. There's power in finding your voice. For as long as I can remember, and which my memory is terrible, I don't know why, but for as long as I can remember, I've always been the type to hold stuff in. I'll hold everything in. You know, it didn't matter what it was. I'd hold it in, then I would get to a point where I'm so filled up, then I'm gonna explode, and I generally end up exploding on people who didn't deserve it. They just happen to be that icing on the cake that tipped me over. And I realized that for whatever reason, I thought there was power in being silent. And don't get me wrong, because there is a time and there is a place for everything. There are several times when it's best that you do keep your mouth shut. But then there are also times when you need to open up your mouth. And I've found myself in back-to-back situations where instead of opening my mouth and saying something, and when I say opening my mouth and saying something, I'm not talking about jumping down anybody's throat, being confrontational, you know, being aggressive and I'm gonna fight you and all of that good stuff. I'm not talking about that, but I'm just saying simply standing up for yourself. Saying like, you know, something as simple as like you got a group of friends, they want to go to the club and you don't, you know, instead of saying no, you just go along with it and then you end up having a bad time and you don't say anything. And then the next time you just ignore their phone calls altogether instead of answering, where you could have just said, hey, listen, no, I don't want to go, and then not go. And so for as long as I can remember, I've always been that person. And it's crazy because if you ask like my mom, my dad, my sisters and stuff, they'll be like, oh, you know, she the one with the attitude in the family, she the mean one in the family. And then, you know, people are, you know, out in public, they're like, oh, you know, she nice, you know, she don't have a problem. And for whatever reason, I don't know how I got like that. I really don't, because deep down in my heart of hearts, I know I got some gangster in me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I got some gangster in me, and I know I am an assertive person, and I know exactly what I want to say, how I want to say it, and when I want to say it. But when it comes time to do it, I just always quiet. And it's not that I'm afraid. It's not that I'm afraid of individuals. I just don't know what happened in my life to cause me to be that way, because I know deep down inside I'm not. And so within this past couple of weeks, it has been incidents back to back that had literally pushed me over the edge, where it's like, you know what? I can't take it anymore. I'm not doing myself any favor. I'm busy thinking about other people's feelings, doing other people a favor while I'm hurting myself. What good does that do? Who is that benefiting? And that's what I had to sit down in a mirror and look at myself and be like, Brandy, who benefits from you always being quiet? Who benefits from you never standing up for yourself? Who benefits from you always going, you know, agreeing when it is really not something that you want to do? Who benefits? How do you feel when you do this? You know, I had to get straight grizzly with myself in the mirror and truly like break this thing down. Why are you doing that? everybody's benefiting, everybody's getting what they need, getting what they want, and here you are, you've made yourself the doormat. You've made yourself the doormat. What I am learning and what I have learned, if you never open your mouth and say anything to stand up for yourself, nobody knows your boundaries. Nobody knows how far they can test you. Nobody knows what your limits are, and they'll continue to poke, continue to take, continue to just beat you down to the ground because they don't know. They don't know the limits. They don't know the boundaries. Not saying that that's an acceptable reason to continue to do so, but they don't know the limits and they don't know the boundaries. But the minute you open up your mouth and you start, no, I don't agree with that. No, thank you. I'm not interested in that. The minute you start opening up your mouth, you begin to set those boundaries. You begin to set those limits. You begin to let people know, hey, you can't talk to me any kind of way. Hey, I don't stand for that. No, I don't accept that. And once you begin to set those boundaries and set those limits, people know how far they can go with you. And again, I'm not saying it to have like any type of confrontation or anything like that, but I truly believe that you get an unction, or I truly believe that we each have a certain amount of discernment. Some people, there are some people that will test you, that's all bark, and when it comes down to it, ain't got no bite. And then there are some people that's just stone cold crazy, don't fool with them, go the other way. So with each situation, you have to use wisdom, but when you are always allowing people to run you over, when you never set the tone for how you want to be treated, when you never do those things, people will continue to take advantage of you. People will take, and even when you think you have nothing else that can be taken, they will come back and snatch that. And that's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. A lot of times I would always find myself in like, when I would come back home or when I would be by myself, I would always be like, I would never do nobody like that. I don't know why they did me like that. I would never ask nobody to do that. I would never take nothing from nobody like that. And what I'm having to realize, people don't think like you think. People don't have the same mindset. People didn't grow up the same way I did. So just because I would never clearly doesn't mean they would never. And for the longest, I would beat myself up. Well, maybe I'm not this. Well, maybe it's because of that. Well, maybe because of this. Or I'm just not this and I'm just not that. And instead of holding myself accountable in the correct way, which is to assess the situation, see where I have went wrong in this situation, because a lot of time we want to be like, oh, it's them. But anytime that you are dealing with another person, or any time in general, you play a role in it too. And a lot of times we want to be like, oh, well, they the one with the attitude. They the one. That very well is true. They may have the attitude, but what part are you playing in it? Are you continuing to allow this person to degrade you? Are you continuously allowing somebody to talk to you in a disrespectful manner? Are you continuing to allow somebody to treat you in a harmful way? If you are, then that's the part that you're playing. You're playing an enabler. And I have played the enabler for so long. Oh my goodness, for so long. And with the events that happened this week, it was like, if I don't say something now, I'm going to explode. I'm going to explode, and I'm going to explode more so in my mind than physically. A lot of the times when we get so frustrated and so tired of a thing, we blow up in our mind and we just, oh, forget it. Just forget it. I'm never going to go around them again. If I see them at this place, then I'm not going to go there. You begin to alter your life and you begin to change your life so you can avoid people. And you know what will happen? You'll continuously run into those people. And if you don't continuously run into those people, you'll meet new people. And those new people will do the same exact thing again and again, over and over. And you'll be like, what the world is going on? You have to stand up for yourself. You have to. And I was always extremely hard on myself because I have a child. And I would be like, you know, how am I saying, telling my son, oh, you better stand up for yourself. Oh, you better not let nobody do this to you. Oh, and I'm telling him, you better stand up for yourself. And then here I am not standing up for myself. You know, that really, really hit home. Really hit home. And, you know, a lot of times people will be like, oh, well, you know, I can stand up for such and such, and I can do this for somebody else, but I can't do it for myself. And I was one to say that as well. You know, if something happened to my son, a situation popped off with my son, oh, you better believe I'm gonna stand up for him, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do for him. And as a mother, my motherly instincts would kick in, and you dang on right. If my baby is in harm, if my baby is in jeopardy, if somebody doing something to my baby, oh, you darn right. Mother mode will kick in. But when it comes to something a little bit more simpler, you know, yeah, you may be behind somebody, you know, you may stand up for them. But when stuff starts getting real, when you start standing up for somebody else and stuff start getting real, the situation start getting real, and now it's really time for you to stand up for that other person, 9 times out of 10, if you won't do it for yourself, you won't do it for somebody else. You know, we'll back them up, you know, like, you know, we'll back them up for a little while. But like I said, when it start getting real, you like, hey, ain't signed up for all of this now. Hold on. You ain't say it was going to be all of this. We'll start backing up. And that's because if you're not willing to do it for yourself, then truly you're not willing to go to the full extent for somebody else. And so this message today is really just to encourage each and every person, man, woman, boy, girl. Find your voice. There is power in your voice. Find it. And don't be afraid. And there's automatically a sense of fear that comes with doing something new. Automatically a sense of fear. And what I mean by that, when I stood up for myself today, because there was a situation where I had to stand up for myself. When I stood up for myself today, instantly I just felt like my emotions was just like, you know, heart start beating fast, you know, your voice start changing, and in my mind I'm like, what in the devil is going on? All you doing is saying no. But it's an automatic sense of fear, and then you automatically begin to start feeling bad because now this person realized, hey, she ain't playing no games. Now I know that I can only go this far with her, and of course they're gonna have a reaction, and then by looking at their reaction, you like, in my mind I'm like, dang, now I've been too mean. I done been too mean. But it's not that you've been mean. It's just unfamiliar. You've never stood up for yourself. So it's something unfamiliar. And when you're dealing with something unfamiliar, it's gonna seem like you're being mean. It's gonna seem like that's not the right thing to do. But once you start getting in the groove of that thing, no. When you start getting in the groove of that thing, and when you find your voice, when you find your peace in standing up for yourself, those feelings will go away. That anxiety will go away. That feeling of being mean and being hurtful to other people, that will go away. Now, I'm now, if you are being mean and hurtful, that's another situation. But when you're just truly standing up for yourself, you know, those feelings will go away. And a lot of times when people start, especially with myself, because I've been down this road multiple times, and I would get to a point, I would do 1 or 2, I would stand up for myself 1 or 2 times, and I'm like, dang, you know, I'm being mean, because now this person, the first response you get, oh, what's wrong with her? Oh, why she acting like that? What you mean? If the tables was turned and I do to you what you do to me, you would be quick to let me know that you ain't standing for that. And because you've never stood up for yourself, that's the first response. Oh, what's wrong with her? Oh, she got an attitude. You know, hey, if that's what you want to call it, then that's what you're going to call it. But eventually, those remarks will not bother you anymore. Eventually, you won't have that high anxiety of like, okay, I'm gonna do it, okay, I'm gonna do it. In your mind, you'll be like, okay, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna say it. This time, I'm gonna say it. All of that will go away. When you know what you bring to the table, when you know who you are, when you know your value, when you know your worth, then you will not let people treat you any kind of way. You just can't. You just can't. A king knows that he's a king. A king is not going to allow anybody to just talk to him any kind of way. You know, A queen knows that she's a queen and she's not going to stand for certain things. Know who you are and find your voice. And when you find your voice, you'll find your power. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to my video today. I hope you guys was able to take something from this video. Like this video. I have plenty more videos like this to share. I'm at this point where I'm learning. I used to close the door on learning, but I have my doors wide open for learning. I'm ready to get to the best version of Brandy. I've never experienced her, and I'm ready to get to the best version of Brandy. Not only do I deserve that for myself, but my son deserves that. You know, the people who I'm supposed to have an impact on their life, they deserve the best version of Brandy. And so that's what I'm on a quest now. So I appreciate if you guys will leave any comments about similar experiences. If you have any other techniques or any other, ideas on how you have dealt with finding your voice, share it. You know, testimonies are powerful. A lot of the times, if not all the time, we're looking for someone who's similar to us, who's been there. We want to know how they've overcome it. You know, so share that information in the description, not in the description, share that information down in the comment section. Again, give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, I would appreciate if you would subscribe and be on the lookout for more content. All right, I'll see you guys in my next video.